Razorback Talk. For the fans, by the fans. This is Inside the Hog Pen with your hosts, Razorback Zach and Marcus MC Carlton. What's up, everybody? Before we get into intros and everything, we've just had some breaking news happen just before we came on air, and I'm talking right as the show
during the intro.
During the intro, we have some major breaking news. MC, I'm going to let you break it since you're the one that found it.
Well, let me get back over here on, of course, my trusty Twitter over here. And I want to get back to the account that I actually saw this on, and then I went and verified it for myself. Rob Mason, and I'm looking for the tweet, was the one that actually broke it on Twitter. I know Rob, he's a distant relative. He's actually a college student on the Hill right now. But he put out there that Coach Pittman has apparently deleted his Twitter account. And so I went to my trusty X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and did a search for Sam Pittman, and there is no Sam Pittman. So the timing on this is really, really sketch to me.
Something's going on.
Yeah.
Something's going on.
Because this can't just be simply due to the criticism that was received after the BYU loss.
No. But let me get back to my intros real quick so I don't come off the wheel here. Hello, everybody. I'm Razorback Zach. If you're just joining us live on a new episode of Inside the Hog Pen, coming to you from the Central Arkansas Hog Pen. And the voice you just heard came from the musical pipes of one Marcus MC Carlton. What's up, MC? We've hit the ground running tonight.
Boy, have we. I mean, the little pre-show discussion we were having about everything going on, and then literally like on the little countdown thing that we have that runs right before our intro, there was like less than 30 seconds left, and I sent a text to Zach, and I'm like, Pittman just deleted his Twitter.
So part of me, I mean, that to me, that kind of throws what we had planned all out of whack. This is a special 90-minute edition of Inside the Hog Pen because, I
go ahead and do this because we're going to need it.
I tried to get
That's not the old cold beer, by the way.
I tried to get past the BYU loss, and we're going to jump into that just briefly. I know that's you're putting a Band-Aid over a bullet wound, but yeah. with Pittman deleting Twitter, with everything coming out now leading into the Battle of the Boot, MC, I know we said no more BYU talk, but I mean, how can you not with everything?
Well, yeah, I mean, this kind of changes things a little bit. I mean, I think we have to talk about it now. I mean, it was, and I was basically to the point I was telling Zach, I was a little sour still. Here we are Wednesday of LSU week at that. I mean, not just another game week. I mean, it's LSU week. It's your SEC season opener. And my mind is still, wrapped around not just losing at home to BYU, but the way the loss went down. You blow a double-digit lead at two different points in the game. You go the dead horse that's been beat into the ground is the 4th and 1 shotgun play. And then some of the comments that have come from Coach Pittman after the game in his press conferences this week. There was the comment about all the hand injuries that the offensive linemen have. I never played offensive line, never attempted to play offensive line, but I heard a former Razorback offensive lineman on a radio show today out of Northwest Arkansas talking about the hand injury thing is he basically said it's weak sauce because he said,
are we naming names?
I mean, he wasn't hiding anything. It's Brett Good was who it was. Brett Good played on the offensive line for Arkansas. He was a deep snapper for the Green Bay Packers for 10, 11, 12 years. He was on a show up there this afternoon, and he kind of took that reasoning to task of, he's like, look, I played offensive line. Every offensive lineman I've ever known played the entire year with hand injuries. They had broken fingers. They taped up their fingers and they went with it.
And even I forget who put it out, but even some of the media members are going, if you've ever watched or played football, you know it's a physical sport. Most offensive linemen play injured through the whole season, and we never know about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So this whole are we PG-13 or no? We're not rated R tonight. We're PG-13.
No, we're a little early for rated R, so we'll go PG-13.
The bullshit that's coming out. I'm still spicy.
No, I don't know a better way to describe it.
Let's talk about clout chasing for a minute too while we're at it. And people will
we can't bring that one on screen, but if you've seen go look at KJ's Twitter and you'll understand what we're talking about with that.
By the way, shout out to my girl Katie. New threads this week, debuting at the Hawg at the Beer Fest. By the way, got a brand new shirt. Yours is coming, MC. I promise.
Awesome.
And then I have my custom tumbler here made by her. She owns Little Elephants Design Company. Little Elephants, Lil Elephants Design Company on Instagram. Nice. Go check them out. They are the exclusive product sponsor of Inside the Hog Pen. Getting back, if you guys are just joining us at the top of the show, we had some breaking news. Pittman is deleting Twitter, which is adding more fuel to the already lit flame of what the hell is going on. And if you guys want to get in on the action, leave us a question or comment on the Harris Made Chef Services live fan feedback. MC, let's jump over here real quick. And Dwight Raleigh, Zach, yes. Hi. It's me, Dwight. I promise. And here the hits are already coming. Pittman might leave, says Kevin Edward. Josh Luna says, how many transfers from Arkansas went to LSU? Speaking of, and it was 2 as far as I know.
2, I believe. Yeah.
Greg Brooks, and
Fouché.
Yeah, Joe Fouché.
Joe. Couldn't think of his first name.
Right. Our presenting sponsor. Good evening, gentlemen, listening from the Park Grill at the Arkansas Museum of Fine Arts. Garrett Patrick with the biggest question of the night right out of the gate. Are the wheels officially falling off? No, but I can promise you this. They're out of alignment. And they're
let me ask you this. Tied to that question, if you think about everything that's gone down since this loss, okay? And the criticism that has been faced to this point, because the stuff that was brought up after the Western Carolina game, the issues with the offensive line and the lack of running game and everything, still an issue, okay? Still there. He asked if the wheels have officially fallen off. I don't think they've fallen off, but they look like the family truckster from National Lampoon's Vacation after the jump.
I hate to say it, but
we've lost a few lug nuts. I'll put it that way.
I'm going to say it, MC, because it has to be said. It's looking like 2018. The wheels. It really is. It really is. And I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I'm not trying to be negative Nancy or anything like that because my name is Zach. So, but Carolyn Williams says the NIL people won't like it. Does Lucy Pittman still have her account?
Well, and I'm going to check on that but the first thing I wanted to throw out here, because my text messages are blowing up about this, and a buddy of mine sent me a question that says, has he checked out? Has Pittman possibly checked out, knowing what he knows about the way things are looking, the way they're headed? Has he checked out?
I was listening to a couple of his press conferences, both post-game, and I'm sorry. I couldn't sit through post-game. That made me cringe and just made me absolutely sick. Because... And then I think it was Monday morning he had his press conference. Was it Monday?
Monday, yeah.
Monday?
It was Monday.
How do you sit there? How do you sit there and say, if we're prepared, it'll be a hell of a game?
Oh, my God. I was gonna hang on to that one for a little bit later, but let's just I pop the top on my drink here, let's just pop the top on that.
I'm all in tonight. I am salty. I'm in a mood. I just, yeah.
So to answer Carol, oh yeah, that's it. To answer Carolyn's question, as of 30 seconds ago, Lucy Pittman still has her account.
Does, and again, I'm not, I'm not trying to instigate anything.
Right.
But let's play devil's advocate for a minute. We're coming off the bit that a bad BYU loss.
Yeah.
Okay. Where we just played like garbage, hot garbage. Let me play devil's advocate for a minute, just for the sake of the argument. What if this is Pittman's way of blocking out the noise, blocking out the criticism, and we see a completely different team on Saturday?
It could be. He did mention something about blocking out the noise. And when I saw that, somebody who maybe shall not be named but might be wearing a Top Gun t-shirt replied to that tweet by the fact of, well, I hope they block the noise better than they block defenses.
Hey, by the way, hold on. I just got a little bit more.
All over the place tonight.
Okay, number 62 is still holding somebody.
Hey, I'll say this. One of the funniest things I saw on Twitter after the game was, and I don't remember whose account it was, so if I'm not giving you credit, it's not that I'm trying to steal it. It's just I don't remember who tweeted it. But it was a meme of one of the holds that number 62 had. And I don't want to, I ain't gonna dog the dude by name. We'll stick with numbers for here.
Okay.
62. And it was like, don't, if you're too sad after this loss, call 1-800-626-2622 and he'll give you a good hold.
To be held for a good time, call 626262. Text hold me to 626262. Oh man, we're clowning tonight. If you guys are just joining us, this is a special 90-minute edition of Inside the Hog Pen because I'm one salty son of a bitch tonight. I'm all.
Where did we get to? We got down to, I think,
Jennifer. By the way,
right?
Hold on.
Okay.
Because we will get in trouble if we don't do this. Number one fan, Casey Sutton's in the house.
I'm a Casey.
Madam, I kicked Cancer's ass twice, so I can't be touched. Yes, that is true. She can't be touched because she kicked Cancer's ass twice. She says, can I get a shirt too? Hey, I will ask Katie. Jennifer says, I wish Kennedy would leave. I think, okay, so let me stick with this for a second.
All right. I want to hear what you got to say here.
I haven't been a fan of his since game one. Because we hear, I'm an offensive line coach. I've coached offensive lines for 30 years. I know what I'm doing. Then and this is my issue with Pittman. He doesn't get in these guys' faces, and he's trying to be too much of a good old boy. Not that we see. But here's what I think's fixing to happen. I think Pittman stays one more year, but he gets rid of Cody Kennedy. And he brings in somebody else. If he does, that's the way it's going to play out. Okay, that's the way I see it happening. Because I don't think you're going to fire a coach after one bad year. So I don't.
Well,
year 4 and you go 2-10.
I mean, year 4 and you go 5-7. To me, that's fireable offense in year 4. In the way the game is now, and everybody's tolerance has dropped significantly. It was a gimme. You got 5 years. And then people started turning stuff around, and then it went down to 3. And then, so now, okay, let's shift gears for a minute, because if Colorado goes out to Oregon and wins this weekend, that tolerance is going to shrink from 3 years, probably down to 2 or even 1.
When Florida State beat LSU,
mm-hmm.
and we blew Western Carolina out 56-13.
Right.
I thought for sure, I was like, okay, we've turned the corner. Here we go.
Yeah, I kind of thought so too.
Kevin Edwards says, I'm running on 7 cylinders. I don't think they're running on 7.
We may not be on 7 right now.
We may be. I think we're more on 4. Jonathan Parker's in the house. Says, why doesn't Pittman help Kennedy more since they need the help? I know he can't fully focus on him, but still, that's the $1 million question.
That's a good question. I'll give two answers here. I'll give a PC answer, like I'm trying to, get in good with the program and say we don't know for sure that he's not trying to help.
Yeah.
The other answer would be, he probably needs to maybe micromanage a little more there than what we have seen him do. Because one thing about Pittman from the time he's been here, he's very much been the CEO style of coach, and he has let coaches and coordinators kind of do their own thing as long as they can justify it to him.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. Dwight, I do too from time to time. Not really Trey Biddy's walk and talk. I'm really not a fan of Trey Biddy.
I watched that one. He actually got locked in the stadium and had to climb over some stuff to get out. It was pretty funny. But he brought up some really good points in it, and a lot of it is stuff that we talked about in our post-game show the other night, as well as some of the stuff that we've talked about here. I mean, there's issues.
Big thing though is the fan base is frustrated, and here Sam Jones in the house tonight. What's up, Sam? He says Pittman hasn't checked out. He needs to actually check in. I believe he sipped his own Kool-Aid this offseason and stopped doing the little things that originally made him semi-successful. He hasn't accomplished anything to be phoning an offseason in. Tough love is needed.
That's fair.
I agree. Kevin Williams. Yeah. Guys, I was at that game, and I can tell you the slow reaction to trends was part of the biggest problem, and that is a sideline problem. Chris Light says, yo, Dover is here.
Welcome.
Dylan Madden, gotta quit blaming injuries. I'm seeing a lot of new names, so welcome you guys into Inside the Hawg Pen if it's your first time watching.
So to go on to Dylan's comment there about the blaming the injuries, I mean he's referencing, Pittman mentioned that KJ was a little beat up coming into the game. The offensive line, the thing with the hands, which if you're okay, so I'm going full logic here. I'm not basing this on any kind of technique or anything.
Right.
But if, as an offensive lineman, if your hands are injured, is that not going to make it more difficult to get holding penalties because you can't grab? I don't know. Somebody that's played, correct me if I'm wrong. But we sure didn't have any problem getting the holding penalties. We didn't have any hand problems there. So,
by the way, if this is the way Big 12 games are called, no wonder they're a soft freaking conference.
We'll fix it in post. Don't worry about it.
Hey, that was we're PG, right? Which means PG-13. You get one F-bomb, right?
Yeah. Ours.
So I asked MC before the show. We were like, let's go PG-13. And I said, you get one F-bomb, right? He goes, yeah. I said, does that mean we get one each or just one in general? So, my bad, y'all. It slipped. Oopsie. Dwight Raleigh says, what about, I bet BYU gave 62 the game ball.
He gave him the game ball. Well, if they did, he would definitely hold on to it.
This is something interesting here. Jonathan Parker says it's hard to go from guard to tackle knowing at guard you have more help. Still no excuse, though, in my book.
I have heard that from coaches, in that, making that transition because your assignments and your responsibilities change a little bit. So, and I'm not going to pretend to know what the heck I'm talking about when you start talking O-line strategies. That's just what I've had some coaches tell me.
Another longtime fan rejoining the Hawg Pen tonight, John Caldwell. What's up, John?
What up, John?
He says, despite what kind of season we have, we always seem to play LSU well.
Historically, yes. There's a few games here and there, but I mean, even go back to last year with no KJ and a cold day in Fayetteville and a team that was, I mean, LSU was a lot better than us last year at that point. And to kind of steal a line from the Alabama dude that does all the little videos, that was definitely a struggle win for LSU.
Funny man.
Yeah, funny man.
Struggle win.
Yeah.
Loki DeWitt says, wait, we have shirts now? Am I too new to the club? we do have shirts. We don't have them. I mean, like you can buy one, but we don't have them like ready to go, ready to ship. So I will
You'd
talk to Katie.
Have to place an order.
I will
That's
talk
where
to
we would
Katie
start,
about
yeah.
getting shirts out and getting what we got to do with it. Don't worry. Sam Jones is putting added weight on Rocket was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Something was working so well that we needed it to be tweaked to
be tweaked.
To
I
be
think he
tweaked.
just forgot his ED.
His freaking knees are screaming from the added 20 pounds, not from an injury or a hit.
Well, and okay, so go back in time with me, if you will, to a previous coach several years ago. Don Deckinger was the strength coach. If you remember, we had like 5 or 6 guys get broken feet, and it just so happened to be 5 or 6 guys who had put on 15, 20 pounds of muscle in the off season. So that's a really good point there by Sam, and that may be part of the issue. Because I'll say this, man, the Western Carolina game, I played that little video. We had good seats right there by where the Hogs come out. Dude, when Rocket came out of the tunnel, I thought, my God, he's the size of a D lineman. And no, I wasn't looking at the ball guy on defense that wears number 5. This was Rocket because I saw the back of his jersey. But I mean, he was huge, man. He looked more like a defensive lineman than a running back.
My whole thing is that if you're going to add weight to your running back, make it worth it. Don Houston, a new face in the Hog Pen tonight, says if we go 3-9, there's no way he could hold his job. That would be like Chad Morris era. Yes,
yeah. Go ahead, finish your thought, and then I'll give you mine.
Yes and no. I think again, I don't think Pittman's going to get fired after one bad year. Yes, it's in year 4. I understand that. Yes, it was a nasty loss to BYU. But I think he makes one more change with one of his assistant coaches before. But now his seat's going to be hot. I'm not going to lie to you. He's moved up in the rankings of the coach's hot seat.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think, and of course this is just optimistic me talking here, not the realist. And I don't see it. I don't see it ending just yet.
Okay, I'm going to go counterpoint to your point.
All right.
3-9, he's gone. And I don't know. So I have 2 different ways I can go with this conversation. 3-9, he doesn't give Hunter a chance to fire him because he resigns.
Taking the opportunity to retire?
Yes. He's going to go retire, sit on Lake Hamilton, drink all the cold beer, and listen to the jukebox. If he does not resign, and if, okay, we're going doomsday scenario here. 3-9.
Okay.
Sam, let's say he makes the staff change that you mentioned and doesn't get fired. At that point, I'm looking at Hunter Yurchek and I'm like, dude, okay, what's going on here? Because you've been quoted as saying many times that you feel like losing games is cause to fire a coach. And that you wish, that you want to set up contracts to where they are more incentive based and you have to earn that big money pay. The more you win, the more you make. So
I even said that.
Yeah. But if he truly believes that losing games is, a cause-worthy firing or firing with cause, then he would have to kind of eat those words and look like a little bit of a hypocrite if Pittman happens to go 3-9 in year 4, where we've been on a decline since year 2.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moving pieces in place here. And I told you this before the show started. There's something going on. I don't know what is up, but there's something going on here that is not in the public, but something's just not right. You can just tell when you look at, we talked about this and we've beat this horse to death of Kendall Briles and his play calling. I'm not seeing a lot of difference in the play calling now with Dan Enos than I did with Kendall Briles. We're still running stuff east to west instead of north and south. We're still lining up in the shotgun on 4th and inches.
That was the key. That was the key right there. So I'm beginning to wonder if we made the right move with Dan Enos.
Well, I texted someone the other day after that 4th and 1, and y'all know the 4th and 1 call that I'm talking about. After that, I've got a group text I'm in every single game, and I put it in our group text. I said, I'm beginning to wonder now if the problem with the offense was indeed Kendall Briles.
I mean, and again, guys, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the fallout from the BYU game. Not necessarily,
which is not what we plan to talk about.
Which is not what we plan to talk about, but it kind of took over the show, which is totally fine because that's what we do here at Inside the Hawg Pen. If you guys would, if you don't mind, share the hell out of this thing because we want to get as many eyes on our product as we can, and want to get as many people involved to let their voice be heard because that's what we're here for. Loki says, yeah, MC has a point. Of course he does. Of course he does. But Coach Prime has set a bunch of unrealistic expectations in the league. I feel like most coaches come in and inherit at bare minimum a core of a program. Coach Prime basically rebuilt everything from the ground up. That isn't something most coaches can do. So holding them to that same standard really isn't fair. That being said, Pitt needs a fire lit under him for sure. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Hashtag. Here's the thing. Is that the coaches that are the most successful are the ones that are least liked, are the least sociable. Nick Saban, Deion Sanders, Urban Meyer,
Dabo. A lot of people don't like Dabo.
Okay, Sam's a good dude. Sam's a good dude, but he's gonna have to drop the whole good old boy attitude. He can't be everybody's friend. You're gonna have to get down and dirty in the SEC. You're just gonna have to. I promise you guys, we are trying to get to all of your comments. We're running a little behind because wow, there's a lot of things. So,
hey, that's a good problem to have, though. I mean, I love the fact when we can't keep up with the comments.
Right. So Paul Anthony wants to know what you got in that cup there. Is that Coke? Coke. That's all. Just Coke. And Dylan says, ooh, Zach, I'm telling the bald man. Go ahead and tell that little Oompa Loompa everything you want to. This little pissant company. Anyway.
Excuse me.
Jonathan Parker, quit using logical thinking, MC, about the hands.
I mean, it just...
Wait. I got to come to my buddy's defense here, all right? JP, I'm going to call you JP just because I'm on one tonight and I'm just feeling kind of, whirly here.
Right.
He has to be the logical one because I'm the illogical one.
There's not much logic usually with what was the term premature detonation? Is that where things went off the track last week?
Now you see no. Big kudos for Dylan for pinch hitting. Don't get me wrong. Kudos for Dylan. Oh
no, I loved it, man. I caught the last 15 minutes or so and I was just laughing my tail off.
Now you see why I say MC is the glue that holds this whole thing together. Because that's what happens. That's what happened. No, yo, I'm gonna tell you right now. Right after the show ended, we're all in a text group, and MC sent a text to the group, and he goes, "I'm gone for one show, and y'all talk about keeping KJ erect and premature detonations." I fell out of my chair. I was laughing so hard. Daryl Patrick says guard equals fighting in a phone booth. It's a different position. Man, I cannot keep up with these comments tonight. Y'all are doing awesome.
Love it.
John Caldwell, I'm predicting a win and an upset at LSU. Woo, pig suit. Can I have some of what you're drinking?
Yeah, I salute you, dude. I will gladly cover my words in my favorite barbecue rub, throw them on my smoker, and I will gladly eat those words that I have said up to this point.
Chef James Harris will cook it up real good for you.
There you go.
So we need to reclaim the boot or the battle line this year for sure.
Well, I mean, the boot's the next one in front of us. So
yeah. Dylan Madden says it all goes back to the old coaching adage: "Are you hurt or are you injured?" And then Carol Williams says, "I honestly don't think they're going to go 3-9 this year. I don't either, but at the same time, I mean,
well, okay, I surely to God pray and hope with everything I have that they don't go 3-9. But where are the other wins coming from?
And we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue to
Stew on that while we go to break.
We're gonna keep on rolling. You're watching an extended edition of Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Back right after this. Calling all local craft beer connoisseurs. Little Oktoberfest, benefiting the Miracle League of Arkansas, is just around the corner, and you don't want to miss this opportunity to sample some of the best craft beers across the state. Saturday, September 23rd at War Memorial Stadium from 6 to 9 p.m. Get your tickets now. Oh, and ITHP will be broadcasting live with me, Razorback Zach, and D-Mad from the Man Cave. So stop by and say hey to the guys. Little Oktoberfest 2023, benefiting the Miracle League of Arkansas. Saturday, September 23rd, 6 to 9 p.m. at War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock. We'll see you there. All right, welcome back to Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Oh, my goodness. All right, so we're jumping back into these comments here.
Before you do that, let me recap something real quick as to why our show has kind of come off the rails a little bit tonight. So we started the show with a little bit of breaking news right out of the gate. And then there you see the breaking news is that Coach Pittman had deleted his Twitter. And there's the visual proof from the FQ Arkansas account. You know, they went and did a screen cap of Coach Pittman's page, and apparently it's down. Now, Zach did bring up a good point about, you know, Coach Pittman had talked about blocking out the noise this week and just focusing on the game. Maybe that's his way of doing it. Maybe so. The timing, to me, seems a little off after all the criticism that has come this week after the horrific Cougar attack that took place last Saturday night. So just wanted to throw that out there, and then we can jump back on these comments.
Yeah. That's why. So Sam Jones picking up where we left off. I really like Pittman as a man and respect him, but good grief, is it hard for him to articulate a complete thought? I often ask myself how that impacts in-game adjustments and decisions, or even relating to players, his expectations. Yeah. I mean, nothing more can be said other than that. Chuck Pendergrass. Hey, Chuckster. Problem is that Arkansas will not pay the kind of money to get an elite coach. You pay mediocre money, you get a mediocre coach. You get what you pay for. I've been saying it. And then Jonathan Park, why do you not want my opinion, JP? What am I, chopped liver? I'll let you take this one, MC.
Okay, so Jonathan Parker, or JP as he's newly been named, who do you think would take his spot, MC, as the head hog? Honestly, I have no idea who would actually get the job, but I can tell you some names that I guarantee you are going to be thrown into the search if there is a coaching search. Now, I am not endorsing any.
If you say the one name that I think you're going to say, I'm about to argue like hell with you.
Okay, well, I'm not endorsing any of these. I'm just telling you who the names are that are going to come up. Okay?
Don't do it.
In no particular order, Dow Loggins. His name will come up because of his ties, because he left to go get to be offensive coordinator at South Carolina. His name will come up. I don't think he's got a shot in hell, but his name will come up. Number 2, Dan Mullen. Mullen's name will come up. I think we could do a lot worse. I think we have done a lot worse in the past. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. And the third one, before I name this third one, y'all might want to turn your volume down because Zach's about to lose his mind.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't. No. No.
Gus Malzahn.
No. And I'm going to tell you why. Because of the way he used Arkansas with Auburn.
I'm just saying. He has no shot, but his name will come up. His name will come up when Biddy and Hutch and all these guys start talking about coaching searches.
So
and they talk about potential candidates. His name will come up.
Yeah. So okay, but
I don't know, man. Something is going on. Something is not right.
I jumped further down the comment because
go ahead.
Like I said, we're jumping back and forth. If I didn't get your comment, that's okay. It's not me ignoring you. Jonathan Parker again says, "How can Sam delete Twitter when all the recruits use it?" I mean,
it's a good question.
Now, here's another good question. Carolyn Williams says, "Has Pitt made the players delete theirs?" No, because KJ tweeted earlier today.
Well,
and then
he hasn't tweeted since. I'll go check on that. I don't think any of the players have deleted theirs.
While you're checking on that, Adam Green, in his infinite wisdom, decided to drop a freaking bomb on us. Did Pittman get fired today? Big donor meeting happened today.
First I've heard of that.
First I've heard of it.
Doesn't mean it didn't happen. It just means I'm out of the loop.
Yeah, like I said, I will reach out to some sources and see if I can figure it out, and see what happened. Jay Burrows says, "Hey, Zach and MC, how are you guys doing?" I mean,
it's a wild one tonight, man. Welcome to the madness.
I'm on one, so
So KJ's last tweet was 10 hours ago. His account is still active. And we haven't talked about this yet, so I'm going to have a little squirrel moment here.
Okay.
KJ's last tweet was in regards to the news of former defensive back Greg Brooks, who, if you remember, transferred down to LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Brooks underwent emergency surgery yesterday. Friday. Underwent emergency surgery on Friday for a brain tumor. Per a statement from his family, doctors successfully performed the procedure Friday to remove the mass, and they are awaiting biopsy results. But apparently Greg Brooks is recovering pretty well at the moment. So that was KJ had quote tweeted that and put a comment in about how he was praying for Greg, and because they were teammates for a while. So that's that could be one of his boys.
Sam Jones says that's not a reasonable request, and if he did that, the transfer portal would bust wide open tomorrow. So I'm assuming, Sam, you're talking about shutting down the Twitters or the X's or whatever you call it.
Man, Sam, I didn't even think about that, but a lot of those guys, they use Twitter as a way for potential NIL clients to get in touch with them about NIL appearances or whatever. Sort of like what KJ did right before the season started with Armor Bank down at Hot Springs is where that was. So, yeah, that's an excellent point.
Something's going on. That much we know. Something strange is going on.
Well, and over all the years, I mean, if there's one thing, Hawg fans, we are off our rockers most of the time. But one thing we do have a good feel for is when something ain't right, because we have seen so much drama go down with this program, ever since the motorcycle wreck.
My biggest question regarding all of this is 3-9 your first year. Totally understand that. Totally get it. All right. You go 9-3 your next year, and then you drop to 7-6, and now we're questioning if he's even going to get a third win. Are you going to try to tell me the super seniors that were there for that 9-3 season were just that good?
No, but I am going to throw something out that is a key piece that I have heard nobody talk about.
Okay.
Everybody's talking about Cody Kennedy. Nobody's talking about the guy that Cody Kennedy replaced, because he left for LSU after that 21 season. Brad Davis. Brad Davis was his name.
That's right.
He was Pittman's first choice to be offensive line coach. He was offensive line coach here in the first year, and then the second year, which was the 9-win season. He leaves. O-line play gets significantly worse, and things just kind of start going downhill. Now, I'm not saying that's the only factor, but everybody that knows anything about football knows that the games are won and lost in the trenches.
Yeah, 100%. Carolyn Williams. We weren't going to bring this up. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we've seen it. Okay.
I'm going to let you take this one because.
Gee, thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah. So I'm not going to go into detail about it.
Sure. So
there was a little snap. No, we'd have to be after our 11 p.m. Hog Pen After Dark to show that. But so there was a claim made by a young lady, I assume is a student at the U of A. She was claiming that KJ was maybe wanting to get to know her a little bit better. And she like threw it, she took it like a screen cap of the Snapchat, put it on her Twitter. Apparently that is, to quote a politician, that's a bunch of fake news, at least according to KJ. KJ has come out and kind of made his rebuttal to give the indication that this is not something that actually happened. So if you want to see more detail, KJ's Twitter is KJ_Jefferson2. So sure. I'll leave y'all to go check that out because I ain't even going to try to describe.
In the words of KJ, I ain't touching that thing.
Yeah.
Cody Blasco. The penalties cost us in the BYU game. Everyone keeps saying 100%. The offensive line looked decent in the game, and LSU game will be closer than what people think. Sam will have the boys ready. Okay, so
I'm about to bite a hole in my tongue here, dude.
Go ahead, dude. Go ahead, because I'm still trying to find the words.
First sentence. Agree with 1,000%. Penalties did cost us.
Yep.
Where did the majority of those penalties come from? The offensive line. You had the final drive of the game when Arkansas was driving down to tie or potentially win the game. You had 5 penalties, all from the offensive line. You had 3 holding calls on the same offensive lineman, and you had 2 false starts, one of which was on the same dude that was getting all the holding calls. So, yes, penalties did absolutely 1,000,000% cost us that game. 14 penalties for 125 yards. So, outside of a few key plays, I thought the offensive line play was terrible in the game.
I didn't see anything good from the offensive line.
AJ Green's run. They created a hole there.
That's probably the highlight.
Yeah, that's it.
Sam Jones says, stop the gimmick crap like deleting Twitter. Just be Sam Pittman and coach the hell out of your team consistently. Sam, in my opinion, struggles focus. Too many peaks and valleys. Best coaches demand perfection every day. That's the thing. He tries. He comes out preseason and he says, I don't want to, I'm not going to try to be everyone's friend. Okay, stop trying to be everyone's friend still.
Well, and
okay, Jay, come on now, dude. BYU paid the rest because they're Big 12 officials. No, because Big 12 officials are just that soft.
And their style of officiating is very different from what we're used to with SEC officials. Very different. There's apparently a zero tolerance policy in the Big 12 on celebration. Because the celebration penalty that Arkansas got,
what the hell's up with that?
Was that third or fourth quarter?
That was third.
Okay, so Arkansas had just stopped BYU on, I believe it was on a 4th down. I believe BYU went for it and Arkansas stopped them, and then Arkansas guys, Nudie and a couple other guys ran towards the end zone, hyping up the crowd. Pittman said the explanation he got from the official that threw the flag is that he thought the players were trying to basically do a Lambeau leap and jump up into the crowd, to which I call BS on because
bullshit.
First off, those dudes have never done that. Now I've seen them go and try to hype up the crowd and stuff after
that's
big
what they
plays.
were doing. If you watch,
and I don't have a problem with that.
What they were doing.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I thought that was one that I really had a problem with.
So
seems like there may have been one more, but I don't remember it now.
We've got an insider working for us now. Adam Green says a buddy who works at UVA Communications said Pittman shut his Twitter down because of all the hate. I'm trying to get more info. Plus, drink a beer. Hold on. All right.
Priorities, drink the beer first.
As we wait for more information, we're going to keep rolling on these. I don't think. Let's see. MC, let's switch gears here.
All right.
And let's talk about LSU for a minute. Let's kind of switch gears.
Yeah, I mean, we do have a game this Saturday.
Put a pin in the BYU because everybody's still salty about that. But we've got a big game coming up in Death Valley, 6 p.m. Kirk Herbstreit and
Chris Fowler.
Chris Fowler are calling the game.
I met Chris Fowler one time. Met him one time.
So, and this goes back to Sam Pittman's press conference on Monday, where he says, if we're prepared, it'll be a hell of a game. If? So let me throw some stats out there for you. All right. Did you know? Actually, I'm going to turn this into a trivia question. Outside of Fayetteville, Baton Rouge, and Little Rock, can anybody name the other 3 cities that LSU and Arkansas have played in? Jay, we'll get to your question in a minute, buddy.
I know one of them. I know one.
There are 6 cities. 5 cities. No, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I forgot how to count there for a second. There's 6 cities that Arkansas and LSU have played in over the years. Okay, outside one, and I'll give you 3 of them: Fayetteville, Baton Rouge, Little Rock. All right, give you those. Can anybody name the other 3?
I know one of them.
So Jay's got one of them. It's Shreveport. One of them is Shreveport. The other 2 are Dallas and Memphis.
Dallas was the one I had. I didn't realize they had played in Memphis.
Let me give you a little history lesson. LSU was 43, 23, and 2 all time. They over us. That's the record right now. In Fayetteville, they're 5-2. In Baton Rouge, they're 13, 4, and 1. Shreveport, they're 16 and 9. Little Rock, they're 8 and 7. Dallas, they're 1 and 0 and 1. And in Memphis, they're 1 and 0. And Arkansas is the one with the victory in Memphis. Surprise, surprise. Did I say that?
So do we have the better record in Fayetteville, or LSU does?
LSU has every better record other than Memphis.
Dang.
LSU has the better record in every city except for Memphis at 1 and 0. The most points scored by Arkansas was in 1910 with 51. And for LSU, it's 56 in 2018. So it's going to be a battle. I hope.
I don't know what to expect. I mean,
Well, let me play to. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, me. Okay. Sorry. I was multitasking. I was looking to see if there's anything on Twitter. I don't know what to expect out of this game. Prior to the debacle against BYU, I thought that Arkansas would play tough and that it would be a close game. I had LSU winning, but I had it being a tight game, like a touchdown or less.
Okay.
Now I have no idea what to expect.
Yeah. I can kind of get down with that. So when Florida State beat LSU, I thought, we got this. Too easy. We got this. Now I don't even know if it's going to be a close game. It's going to be if we play like we played against played against BYU, and especially how we played against Kent State, they're going to wipe the floor with us. They're probably the best team in the SEC West right now.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. I think that's that is for sure the best team in the most complete team in the West right now.
Yeah, I mean, an argument can be made for. Well, no, because Alabama's got a loss.
I'm interested to see what comes out of the Alabama Ole Miss game this weekend.
Ooh, that's going to be a good one. That's going to be.
I think that'll be a good game.
We'll be broadcasting live from the Little Oktoberfest, benefiting the Miracle League of Arkansas, all afternoon on Saturday. So if you're driving, turn us on. We'll give you updates for the game, and we'll also be talking LSU Arkansas as well. But I mean, yes, history dictates that Arkansas LSU has always been a good game.
Yeah.
I mean, there were times we absolutely.
There's been a few blowouts, but very few. Very few.
There have been times that Arkansas has completely crapped the bed, and we've come out and played like like a wild band of Razorbacks.
To kind of go back, I'm still kind of parsing through Twitter, looking for reactions of Hawg fans to the news that we broke the show with it. Sam Pittman had apparently deleted his Twitter. Man, Pittman's getting cooked right now on Twitter.
Well, I mean, why? It almost looks like he's running and hiding.
Well, and that's kind of what some people are saying. And this one that I'm looking at right now, I'm not even going to try to give his handle because it's looks like a bunch of gibberish. But we'll just go with TK. TK says, "This is not what I want to see from the head coach of an SEC program. He hates social media, and I understand that. But why not have someone else run it for you so you don't even ever have to see it? Maybe there's more to this, but I don't like the optics of it right now." It's a fair point. How many coaches actually run their own Twitter? I mean, why is this not some low-level, for lack of a better term, a gopher that works in the athletic department that is maybe a student worker or something that's trying to get his feet wet to just monitor it, and then he goes to the social media director, and says, "Hey, here's what we're seeing." And then the social media director is actually the one that makes the tweets on the account and such.
Well, but I mean,
I don't want my head coach on Twitter. I don't want him running his own account. To me, that's no different than when Houston Nutt was out text messaging news anchors all the time. I want my coach focused on game plans and trying to figure out what the hell's going on with this offensive line rather than spending his time on Twitter. I'm not saying he shouldn't have an account. You got to have an account in the way recruiting is right now. You have to have an account, but you have a social media person run that for you.
Cody Blasco says, "I love Sam Pittman, but he shows no confidence in his press conferences, and it seems like he says the same things over and over. He needs to figure out real quick who his key players are, and Satanga should definitely be one of the players." I'm going to insert a word there. The kid is explosive, and Sam Pittman wants to say he isn't consistent catching balls in practice. Only way you're going to get better is practice, practice, practice.
Well,
Richard Wright says, "Fickle fans hammering Pittman." And then this one is kind of surprising here. Tim Rawls says Pittman's not going to lose his job. O-line coach going to lose his job unless improvement is made. I think that's what's going to happen, and I think that's
inconsistency.
I think that's the I think that's the consensus. Holy
consensus.
Shit, that
okay.
was hard.
I guessed where you were going, and I guessed wrong.
God, that hurt my brain, y'all. It's been a week.
Yeah, I mean, well, I agree with the second half. O-line coach Cody Kennedy's probably losing his job unless there's some kind of miraculous turnaround. I'm not sold on the fact that Pittman's not going to potentially lose his job either, because I'm telling you, if this season goes the direction that it appears to be going right now, and let's say the season ends at 4-8 or even 5-7. I mean, to me, 5-7 in year 4, nah, you got to go.
Yeah. So I'm gonna scroll back over. Jay Burrows wants to know if we heard anything on Rocket. I haven't. MC, have you?
No, just what they put out. I mean, he was RB1 on the depth chart, but he's also been RB. Yeah,
he's been RB1 every single week.
Yeah,
every single week.
Nothing for sure. He was dressed out. I did see video from practice on today's Wednesday. I guess it would have been yesterday. I did see a little bit of video of him dressed out and going through some drills. So there's that.
It's hard right now because of the perception that this team is giving off that Pitt has not mailed it in.
Well, okay, so here's a question.
Okay.
Let's say the line on this game is 17.5. Let's say LSU covers. Let's say they win 42-21.
All right.
With everything that has happened to this point, does he start losing the team? I mean, I know it's crazy to talk about that after one loss, but something's going. I know I keep harping on this, but something is going on under the surface that has not been made public. There's something on some level. There's a disconnect between the players and the coaches, or I don't think it's chemistry issues. I think it's just.
I don't think it's chemistry issues either.
No,
but
something ain't right.
It's not the perception that this thing is given off, because here's the thing, and I said this last week, is that KJ coming back was great. Yes, he's trying to hit the record books. But in the grand scheme of things, all right, those records mean nothing, absolutely nothing, if we go 2-10. If we have a losing season, it means nothing.
God. I mean, if you go 2-10, that means you dropped a game to FIU. I honestly think they could put me and you in uniforms and we would still find a way to beat FIU. I
have an injury. It's just the excuse everybody else is making, so I figured, why the hell not? Oh my goodness!
Is it your hands? You have hand injuries?
Jonathan Parker says some players are just gamers. Lights come on, they show out, just like Isaiah did last week.
Yep. There's some guys that are not good practice players, but just like he said, when the lights come on, Dennis Johnson is a guy that comes to mind on that.
Yeah.
We always heard under Petrino he was not a good practice player, but when the lights come on, man, and you gave the ball to 33, he was going to make special things happen. I like Richard's point here. Winning will cure all starting this week at LSU. Hey, man, I hope you are correct, and they go down there and they just put on a show. Winning does cure pretty much anything that ails you, because everything we've talked about tonight, the Twitter, the penalties, the bad play calls, all of that goes away if you go down to LSU and you pull the upset this weekend.
Well, and again, we're going to forget about this if somehow they go on a run.
Sorry, I was...
No, you're good, man.
Reading ahead on comments, brother.
You're good. Dylan Madden says, our team is kind of confused. We want big people, but want to play like it's a track meet. Can't do both. Have to choose one.
Yeah. Well, and I've heard this talked about all week too, is that KJ does not look comfortable in this offense.
No.
It's quite the change from what he has run every other year that he's been here with Kendall Briles, because if you remember, Briles had the hurry up. We were trying to snap the ball within 8 to 10 seconds. The other night, man, there were several snaps to where we didn't snap the ball until the play clock was under 5 and sometimes even under 3. So defenses have more time to adjust or set up. And I said this the other night in the post game too. The lack of comfort with KJ, because he doesn't look like KJ. He looks like he's overthinking and almost like he's out of his element here, because he's not allowed to do the things that make him good, and that is his improvisation when things kind of break down, or his ability to move. There was one play in my head that really stuck out to me the other night in regards to KJ. So KJ had open field run. We were down in the red zone. He had an open field run. Standing between him and the end zone was a 5'8", 165, 170 pound defensive back. And instead of trucking that dude and getting the 6 like we've seen in the past from KJ slipped to the side, went out of bounds. Now, it ended up not mattering because I think we scored on the next play. But that play kind of stuck out in my head because that's something new. And so I'm wondering, is he being coached to be more cautious and not take what they would deem unnecessary risks of getting hit. To me, yes, he's 6'3", he's 250 pounds. He's your quarterback. He's your QB1. You don't want him hurt, but you got to let the man cook. You got to let the man do what he does. And what KJ does is he's as much of a runner as he is a passer.
Yeah. But why are you trying to turn a dual threat quarterback who is a running quarterback into a pocket passer?
That's what I don't understand.
Like, that makes no sense to me at all. At all.
No, me
but
neither.
I don't get paid. I don't get paid the big bucks either. So
yeah, I don't either. I mean, this is just, my uneducated football opinion here.
So let's see. About 18.5 for the game.
Loving all these comments, y'all. Just
y'all keep them coming. For real.
Hey, and if y'all want to take me to task over some of my takes, bring it. I mean, I'm not going to go delete Twitter if you get on me a little bit.
So, but I just, it depends on what team shows up. Now, I did see somewhere, I didn't read the article, but I did see somewhere there's a quarterback competition coming.
Oh, I don't know about quarterback. Now, we do have, Pittman did mention that we're going to play both punters this weekend. I think I had one of our banners set up for that. So we're having a punter competition because we're not happy with how Max Fletcher, who has been, he's been the choice made by the coaching staff to be the punter. I was a little upset that we ran off Reed Bauer, who's now at Memphis and apparently having no trouble booming the ball all over the field. Reed Bauer was benched last year in favor of Fletcher. I don't know why, because Fletcher, at least one time a game, in what feels like every game, he has a shank off the side of his foot that goes 10, maybe 15 yards. He had two really awful back-to-back punts the other night. He had one of them was 10. The other one was like 20 yards. Both of them led to scores for BYU because they had such a short field to work with. So now, fourth game into the season, we've decided that we're going to basically have a punter auditioning in the first SEC game of the year. And I can't even remember the young man's name, who's Bell, I believe, is the backup punter. I believe Bell's his last name.
Not a good look. I mean, this something about this is just not a good look.
Well, the red flags that we saw in Western Carolina and Kent State game, they have upgraded from red flags, and now they are like flashing red neon signs to me. And like one of our comments said a while ago, winning cures all. So if we go down and we have a good performance and we pull the upset, then all is well. And we'll unplug the neon lights for a week and there won't be any issues. But I'm afraid that this is something that's not going to go away.
It's not.
And it's, and at what point do the players check out? Because, I mean, we're staring at 2-5 right in the face, man.
Yeah.
The next home game at Fayetteville, if Arkansas is not 2-5, it'll be a walking on water type miracle. Because the next four games that's why that BYU game was so critical. You had to get that because of the next four games. You're going at LSU. You're going to Jerry World to play the Aggies. You're going to Ole Miss, and you're going to Alabama. Okay, we talked about it before the season, that 2-2 in those four games would be really, really good. And anything above 2-2 is just icing on the cake. Now I'm just hoping for 1-3 out of those four.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it.
I don't right now. I don't either. I mean, right now I'm looking at when we come back to play Mississippi State in the middle of October, which having a month between home games is ridiculous, but that's another argument for another show. But when we come back on October 21st, I believe is when we come back. 2-5. We're looking at 2-5, and you're going to be 0-4 in SEC play. I mean, that There's no climbing out of that hole.
All right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. You're listening and watching Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Back right after this. Calling all local craft beer connoisseurs. Little Oktoberfest, benefiting the Miracle League of Arkansas, is just around the corner, and you don't want to miss this opportunity to sample some of the best craft beers from across the state. Saturday, September 23rd at War Memorial Stadium from 6 to 9 p.m. Get your tickets now. Oh, and ITHP will be broadcasting live with me, Razorback Zach, and D-Mad from the Man Cave. So stop by and say hey to the guys. Little Oktoberfest 2023, benefiting the Miracle League of Arkansas. Saturday, September 23rd, 6 to 9 p.m. at War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock. We'll see you there. All right, welcome back to Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Razorback Zach hanging out with you in the Central Arkansas Hog Pen. Marcus MC Carlton in the NEA, and we love the comments, y'all. Keep them coming.
Hey, this is what makes the show. Y'all are what makes it.
Yep. So I gotta ask you, MC, do the Hogs even have a chance?
A chance, yes. A good chance, no. I mean, there's always a chance. You know, I mean, I could go buy a Powerball ticket tonight, and technically I have a chance. Speaking of which, I hadn't done that for this week, so I may need to do that. If you see that, I won't tell anybody, but there will be signs. There will be an upgrade to the NEA Hog Pen. Yeah, I mean, if I had to put a percentage on it right now, yeesh. I would be nice and say there's a 20% chance.
You're being generous, my friend.
I'm in a generous mood tonight. So,
Richard Wright says, "Love you guys, great show." Thanks, Richard. We appreciate you tuning in tonight.
Appreciate you always contributing like you do. You bring good stuff, man.
Man, I don't.
It's frustrating, man. It's just really frustrating.
My mind's turned to clay on all this. You know.
Yeah.
So it's
well, and I'll say this too. We've all, and I say we as in Hog fans collectively, we all still have the traumatic memories of 2017, 2018, 2019. And we are so terrified of going back to that after we've tasted a little bit of success. You know, after the 9-4, and then you have the 7-6 last year, but you ended on a positive note because you ended by winning your game.
Yeah.
And to see the way this year started, you know, we've all been burned so many times that if we just see somebody striking a match, we go into freak out mode. And I'm including myself in this because I'm one of the world's worst. But we don't want to go back to those dark days.
I sure as hell don't. That's just me.
No.
You know, because I thought we had crossed the River Jordan. Apparently we didn't. So in wrapping up here, I think we've done enough, but I want to wrap up with one thing is criticism after a bad loss. And MC, I'll let you take this one since you're kind of
so this was something kind of hit me in the head a little bit because I've been very critical this week on Twitter. I'll own it. I'm not going to run from it. I've been very critical after the BYU loss, which is what I felt like was an absolutely avoidable loss, game you can't lose at home in year 4. It was like the 5th or 6th largest crowd in Razorback Stadium in the history of the stadium. Mm-hmm. And once again, I mean, I go back to my phone and the conversations that I have with people that watch the show. They may not comment, but they watch and they listen. You know, I had 4 or 5 different messages come in and say, well, big crowd, pretty much guarantee Arkansas is going to the bed like they do every time. And I've been very critical, and I saw a section of Arkansas fans on Twitter come after me and come after other people that were critical, saying, don't do that. Don't be critical. These guys have suffered enough. You just need to support the team and, you know, be positive. Well, okay. The world, to quote Rocky, the world ain't sunshine and rainbows. Okay.
No, it's really not.
I see something worth criticizing, especially, you know, if okay, I'm gonna put it like this. If I see one of my kids doing something that is worthy of criticism, or if they're doing something wrong, because I care so much, I'm going to point out to them how they're doing it wrong and what they need to be doing instead. Now, I have been a fan. I'm 45 years old. First time I remember really paying attention, I was 7 or 8 years old. So, you know, not quite 40 years, but getting close. And if I criticize, it's not to be an asshole, or it's not to just, you know, be complaining. It's because I care about this program and I want it to do good, and I know it's capable of better. And that's why I criticize, because I want it to get better. I care about it. If I didn't care about it, go back and look and see how much criticism I did in 2018 and 2019. I didn't criticize them because I had gone apathetic. I was just like, the heck with it. I got better things to do with my time. For all the crap I have given Coach Pittman, he relit that fire where I care now, and I care enough to complain, and I care enough to call out 14 penalties for 125 yards. I care enough to call out shotgun in the 4th and 1 or 4th and less than 1. You know, I care enough to call that out, but I understand what these these other sections of fans are doing when they're saying, don't criticize, they've been through enough, blah, blah, blah. Well, no, that's not the way the world works. And it's especially not the way the world works with me. If I see BS, I'm calling BS. And you call it tough love, call it whatever you want. But that's just me.
Well,
I've left Zach speechless. That's a first.
That's a hell of a way to end it. I can tell you that much.
Oh, we got to timestamp this, because I have rendered Razorback Zach speechless. That does not happen.
I don't know what to think. But we're going to wrap it up. By the way, I don't know what time the broadcast is going to start Saturday yet. But be sure to tune in for that. For Marcus MC Carlton, I'm Razorback Zach. You have been watching an all-new episode of Inside the Hog Pen. Until next time, so long, everybody.